Do you know what most people do when their shoulder starts getting weaker after 60? They adapt. They stop carrying their purse on that side. They ask for help getting their suitcase from the overhead compartment. They start using the other arm for things that used to be automatic. And they do this so naturally that one day they realize the shoulder that hurts, or gets tired, or locks up, has become almost like a room in the house they simply stopped using. I see this every week in the clinic. Someone comes in and describes their shoulder with a phrase I know by heart. It doesn't hurt that much. I've gotten used to it. And when I ask them to lift their arm, to show me where it locks up, where it gets tired, they're surprised by how much they've already lost without even noticing. That's not aging. That's progressive muscle weakness, and muscle weakness responds to exercise. I'm a physical therapist with over 10 years of clinical experience, and today I'm going to show you the 5 exercises that work best for my patients and explain why they're so important. It's not just lifting your arm with a little weight like many people teach. This is a countdown to rebuild shoulder strength after 60, from number 5 all the way to number 1, the most important one of all. And as a bonus, I'll also show you 3 stretches that seal the deal, and that most people do in the wrong order. Block 2. Clinical context. The shoulder is a generous joint. It moves in more directions than any other joint in the body, forward, backward, to the side, rotating inward and outward. All that mobility is incredible. And that's exactly why it depends so much on the muscles around it to stay stable. When we're younger, this system works almost on its own. But after 60, if we don't actively work to maintain those muscles, they start to weaken, slowly, silently. And the shoulder starts paying the price. The main muscle group involved here has a name you may have heard before: the rotator cuff. Think of it like a belt of muscles that wraps around the head of the upper arm bone and keeps everything in the right place. When that belt gets weak, the bone starts moving imprecisely inside the joint. And then comes the pain, the limitation, that feeling that the shoulder no longer has the strength it used to have. There's one more factor that makes all of this worse: posture. Most people over 60 spend many hours of the day with their shoulders slightly rounded forward, on their phone, on the computer, watching television. This closed-off position shortens the muscles in the front of the shoulder and further weakens the back muscles that should be supporting everything. It's a cycle. Weakness leads to poor posture, and poor posture leads to more weakness. The good news is that this cycle can be interrupted, and that's exactly what today's exercises do. They start with mobility, build a postural foundation, and then move into direct rotator cuff strengthening. Before we begin, let's make a deal. Mild muscle discomfort can happen. It's a sign that the muscles are being activated. Sharp shoulder pain should not. If you feel anything sharp during any exercise, reduce the range of motion and continue more carefully. Tell me in the comments, which everyday movement bothers your shoulder the most right now? Lifting your arm, reaching behind you, or lying on that side at night? I reply to everyone, and it helps me get to know you better. Now let's get to the exercises. Pay attention, because they can really help you. Exercise 5. Pendulum swing. Number 5. And I'm starting with this one because it's the opposite of what most people instinctively want to do when the shoulder is weak or painful. The natural tendency is to protect it, to hold it still, to keep the arm close to the body, tense, as if movement would make things worse. And over time, that protective instinct is exactly what speeds up the loss of mobility. A shoulder that doesn't move becomes stiffer, weaker, and more limited. The pendulum swing is designed to break that cycle, and it does it in a way the shoulder barely even notices. No muscle effort, no resistance, no pain. To do it, you'll need a table, a sturdy chair, or any surface at hip height. Place the hand from your healthy side on that surface and lean your torso slightly forward. Let the arm on the affected side hang loose, completely loose, as if it were a weight hanging from your shoulder. No tension at all. Now, with a gentle movement from your torso, not your arm, let the arm start to swing, forward and backward, like the pendulum of a clock. Small, slow, no rush. Do that for about 30 seconds. Then move side to side. Swing the arm from one side to the other for another 30 seconds. And finally, small circles. Imagine your fingertips are drawing a plate on the floor. 30 seconds clockwise, 30 seconds counterclockwise. The secret is the size of the movement, small and slow. The idea here is to let the weight of your own arm do the work, gently opening space inside the joint without any active effort. Two very common mistakes. The first is swinging the arm forcefully, using the muscle instead of using the torso to create the movement. The second is leaning the torso too far forward. A slight forward angle is enough. You don't need to be parallel to the floor. Do this for 2 minutes total, which is exactly the time for the 4 directions I just described. You can repeat it twice a day, especially in the morning when the shoulder is still more stiff. Now, let's move on to number 4. This one looks simple, but it's where many people realize their shoulder has lost much more range of motion than they imagined. Exercise 4. Table slide. This exercise reveals something that surprises a lot of people. The range of motion you think you have in your shoulder often isn't really there anymore. Not because it hurts a lot, but because the shoulder simply doesn't go that far anymore. To do it, sit in front of a table. Place a small folded towel on the surface. It will act as a sliding support for your arm. Rest the forearm of the affected side on the towel, with your palm facing down and your elbow close to your body. From there, slowly slide your forearm forward. Let your arm open out in front of you on the table, as if you were reaching for something on the other side. Go as far as your shoulder allows without pain. At the first sign of real discomfort, stop. Hold that point for 1 second, then slowly slide back to the starting position. The secret is letting the table do the heavy lifting. The arm doesn't need to support itself, the surface supports it. This allows the irritated shoulder muscles and tendons to rest while you rebuild the range of motion you've lost. It's like asking the shoulder for permission instead of forcing the door open. 2 very common mistakes. The first is leaning your whole torso forward to gain more reach. The movement needs to come from the shoulder, not the body. The second is going too far, too fast. More range doesn't mean more progress. If you push past comfort, you irritate exactly what you were trying to calm down. If you need a gentler version, start with your elbow even closer to your body and shorten the sliding distance. Over time, the shoulder will naturally free up more space. Do 8 to 10 slow repetitions, breathing out as you slide forward and breathing in as you return. 2 sets are enough. Now let's move on to number 3. This one may not look like much when you see it, but it's probably the most underrated exercise on the entire list. And it's the one that opens the way for everything that comes next. Exercise 3. Shoulder blade squeeze. You're not going to sweat, and you're not going to feel that burning sensation of a muscle working hard. But this exercise determines whether the next 2 exercises will actually work. Here's why. The shoulder blade is the foundation of every shoulder movement. When it's not positioned correctly, the shoulder is constantly working at a mechanical disadvantage. It's like trying to open a door with a crooked hinge. The strength is there, but it doesn't get where it needs to go. To do it, sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor and your back straight. Let both arms hang relaxed at your sides. Now slowly pull your shoulder blades toward your spine and slightly downward, as if you were trying to tuck them into the back pockets of your pants. Don't raise your shoulders. Don't force your back backward. It's a small, controlled movement that you should feel in the middle of your back, between your shoulder blades. Hold this position for 5 seconds, then slowly release. That's 1 repetition. The secret is keeping your neck relaxed during the movement. Most people, without realizing it, tense their neck along with their back, and then the benefit disappears. The effort should be between the shoulder blades, not in the neck, not in the arms. 2 very common mistakes. The first is shrugging the shoulders upward instead of pulling them down and inward. These are opposite movements. The second is holding your breath during the 5-second contraction. Breathe normally the whole time. If you have trouble feeling the movement, try doing it in front of a mirror the first time. It really helps you see what's happening with your shoulder blades. Do 8 to 10 repetitions, 2 sets. Simple as that. Now let's move on to number 2. This is where we get out of the chair and start building real strength. Exercise 2. Wall slide. Number 2. And this is the exercise where we bring together everything we've built so far. Because the wall slide requires the shoulder to move with control, with posture, and with the right muscles activated at the same time. To do it, stand facing a wall, about 1 step away. Place both forearms on the wall at shoulder height. Elbows bent, palms and forearms fully touching the surface. This is your starting position. Now, slowly slide both arms up the wall, keeping your forearms against it the entire time. Go as high as your shoulder allows, without pain, without forcing it. Then slide back down to the starting position with the same control. The secret is keeping your forearms in contact with the wall throughout the entire movement. The moment they start to lift away, that's a sign you've gone too far. Come back down a little and work within that range. That's where the exercise is being done the right way. 2 very common mistakes. The first is arching your lower back as the arms go up. The body tries to compensate for the lack of shoulder mobility by using the spine. Keep your abdomen slightly engaged and your ribs down. The second mistake is going up too fast. Speed takes away control and the muscle misses the right stimulus. If the movement is still too uncomfortable, start with your forearms lower, at chest height instead of shoulder height, and gradually increase the height over the next few days. Do 8 to 10 slow repetitions, 2 to 3 sets. Breathe out as you go up, breathe in as you come down. Now let's move on to number 1, the most important exercise on this list. The one that goes straight to the root of the problem. Mild muscle discomfort can happen. Sharp shoulder pain should not. Exercise 1. Sidelying External Rotation. Number 1. And this one is here for a very simple reason. It directly targets the rotator cuff, the muscle group that loses the most strength with age and is behind most of the shoulder complaints I see in the clinic. Everything we've done so far has prepared the ground for this moment. Mobility, posture, shoulder blade activation, all of that exists, so this exercise reaches the right place with the right intensity. To do it, lie on your side on the floor or on a firm surface, with your healthy side down and the affected side up. Bend your top knee slightly for more stability. Now take the small towel you already used in the table slide and fold it. It will go between your elbow and your body. This detail may seem small, but it changes everything. It keeps your arm at the right angle and isolates the muscle we want to work. With your elbow bent at 90 degrees and kept close to your body, hold a light weight in your hand. It can be a small water bottle, a can, or nothing at all if this is your first time. Your palm faces down in the starting position. Now, slowly rotate your forearm upward toward the ceiling, as if you were opening a revolving door. Go up as far as you can with control. Hold for 1 second at the top, then lower slowly with the same control you used on the way up. Even slower on the way down. That's where the muscle gets stronger the most. The secret is the controlled lowering. Most people lift carefully and then let the arm drop. Don't. Resist it. Count to 3 on the way down. That's where the magic happens. 2 very common mistakes. The first is letting the elbow move away from the body during the movement. When that happens, other muscles take over and the rotator cuff gets left out. The towel is there exactly to remind you of that. The second mistake is using a weight that's too heavy right from the start. Begin with no weight or something very light. The goal here is quality of movement, not load. If you need a gentler version, do it without any weight and reduce the range of motion. Lift only as far as your shoulder can go comfortably. Over time, you'll notice the range naturally increases, and then you can add a light weight. Do 10 to 12 repetitions, 3 sets. Switch sides if both shoulders need work. Mild muscle discomfort can happen. It's a sign that the rotator cuff is being activated. Sharp shoulder pain should not. Now, these are the exercises that build the foundation for a pain-free shoulder. They're not the only exercises, of course. If you want more options and want to know how to progress, comment part 2 down below and I'll prepare another video. Now let's talk about the famous stretches of your body at shoulder height. With your other hand, gently hold the arm just above the elbow and pull it toward your chest. You'll feel a different stretch, broader, more on the outside. Do these 3 stretches after the exercises. But there's something important I need to tell you first. Most people stretch their shoulders the wrong way. Not because the movement itself is wrong, but because they do it at the wrong time. Stretching a cold shoulder without warming up the muscles first can irritate it more than help it. That's why these stretches come here, at the end, after the muscles have already worked, after they're warm, and after they're more receptive. The first one is the doorway stretch. Stand facing an open doorway and place both forearms on the sides of the door frame at shoulder height. Now take a small step forward and feel the stretch opening your chest and the front of your shoulders. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds while breathing normally. If you want to go a little deeper, move your hands slightly higher on the door frame. You'll feel the stretch in a different part of the front of the shoulder. Don't force it. Let your body weight do the work. The second one is the posterior capsule stretch, a stretch for the back of the shoulder. Sit or stand with good posture. Bring the affected arm across the front of your chest with the elbow bent. With your other hand, gently hold the elbow and guide the arm toward your chest until you feel a stretch in the back of the shoulder. Hold for 30 seconds. This is one of the most neglected shoulder stretches, and one of the most important because the posterior capsule often becomes chronically tight in people who spend many hours sitting. The third one is the cross-body stretch, similar to the previous one, but with the arm straight. Extend the affected arm in front of your body at shoulder height. With your other hand, gently hold the arm just above the elbow and pull it toward your chest. And if you want to do a stretching-only session on a rest day, warm up the shoulder first with 2 minutes of pendulum swing. That warm-up completely changes the quality of the stretch. About doing the exercises 3 times a week, on alternating days. That's all you need to know about frequency. The rest is simple. In the first week, do everything without weight and without rushing. Learn the movement. In the second week, add the bottle to the sidelying external rotation if it feels comfortable. In the third week, add 1 more set. If after 2 weeks you're sleeping better on that shoulder, it's working. If reaching up to a cabinet feels less difficult, it's working. Don't wait for the pain to disappear completely before noticing progress. Progress shows up before that, in the small details. One thing before you go. If your shoulder locks up at night and wakes you up, if the weakness is getting worse instead of better, or if you felt anything sharp during any of today's exercises, don't keep pushing through it on your own. See a doctor or physical therapist for an in-person evaluation. Some shoulders need a closer look before any exercise. Tell me in the comments, what has your weak shoulder stopped you from doing? And what do you really want to get back to? If you want to keep taking care of your body with exercises designed for real life after 60, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.